Everyone, welcome to the stream. Tonight we're looking at the strange and chaotic story of the Brotherhood of Eternal Love, a group that started as a violent biker gang before transforming into the most prolific LSD smuggling network in the world. But their story doesn't exist in isolation. As we'll explore, there were some intriguing and under-examined connections between the Brotherhood, outlaw biker gangs, and the Manson family. And we'll be looking at both older and newer theories, including the idea that the Tate Bianca murders weren't just about helter-skelter. It may have been fallout from a drug war involving Tex Watson, rival biker factions, and a network of LSD and other drug dealers fighting for control. So yes, initially I'll be telling you about the Brotherhood of Eternal Love, but then we're going to look at some of the other theories about the Manson case. And one that's discussed less, the biker drug war connection theory. So yeah, and if you already know about the Brotherhood of Eternal Love, I'll make sure there's chapters so you can skip straight to the Manson stuff. That's what you're here for. You're watching this on playback. But yeah, hello everyone. This is a live stream anyway, so I'll say hello to everyone. Did you notice that video had changed as well? I re-edited the video, added more clips to Manson Shadows, and I'll upload that to the channel now as well. But you were the first to see it if you were here at the beginning of the stream. Yeah. Right, yeah, and it's interesting, and this sort of follows on from the Operation Julie stream as well, because there was a connection between, I think it's Richard Kemp learned to make LSD from the chemists involved in the Brotherhood of Eternal Love. Yes. Right. Is it just because the mic's far away from the mouth? Yeah. That's it. Yes. ALD 52, also known as 1-acetyl-LSD, 1A-LSD, is a psychedelic drug that is structurally similar to lysergic acid diethylamide, LSD. I did actually guess, and the source I used for this was a change to the Brotherhood of Eternal Love book written. It was first written in the early 80s, but there's been a later version written. I couldn't get hold of that, I could only get hold of the 80s version. This is called the Brotherhood of Eternal Love. Swerdlow and May, I think, the authors. I found the PDF of it, and I've put that on archive with me as a few minutes. Yeah, I used that mainly as the. Ah, yes, no, you found it, did you? Yes, I shared the PDF to that in the Facebook group and on the subreddit and all that. Yeah, it is a really good book, and like I say, I used it as the source. Initially, I was using Acid Dreams, but the Brotherhood of Eternal Love book sounds a bit more believable, basically. So I used that as a source. Yeah. Yeah. Their own sun-drowned variety of LSD that was widely available in California through 1968-69 was produced in Sonoma County underground chemistry lab with Tim Scully and Nicholas Sand, yes. Well, we're going to get to that in a minute, yeah. Talk about that. But there was, in this book as well, there's more about STP than I've ever read anywhere else as well. I'll do a whole stream about, what it tells you about STP, because it was the Brotherhood of Eternal Love that made STP. And they were saying everywhere else it was like a mixture of LSD and speed, but this tells us it's more actually like mescaline and speed or something like that. Yeah, but I'll get to that in another stream as well. But yeah, this book tells you more about STP than any other book I've seen as well. Really good. Excellent. Well, I'll start the presentation pretty soon. Yeah, just want to say hello to everyone. And yeah, and tell you about the source book as well. Yeah. Okay, so we got something to be discussing. So, Born to Trip, the outlaw bikers behind the Brotherhood of Eternal Love. In the mid-60s, John Griggs was the leader of a marijuana-smoking motorcycle gang called the Buddha Bunch that roamed South LA preying on supermarkets. Known as Farmer John, he had once disappeared into the mountains to live as a trapper. One summer night, Griggs led his crew into the Hollywood Hills, targeting a film producer rumoured to have pure LSD in his fridge. They crashed a dinner party armed with guns and knives, but all they took was the acid. The host, relieved they weren't there to kill him, shouted as they sped away, "Have a great trip, boys. Jesus, I thought it was something serious." After the robbery, Griggs took the LSD at Joshua Tree with his gang. Rather than wild visions, he was calm, introspective, and deeply moved by the desert sky. He reportedly said, "This is it. This is the answer. We're going to turn on the world," before they threw away their guns and returned to LA. The same year, they met Timothy Leary, launching a mission to flood the world with orange sunshine LSD. And yeah, he went and met Leary at Millbrook, and all that sort of thing. So yes. So it's interesting, yeah. They were their origins were as a violent bike gang, and yes, they transition into this sort of overnight into soft hippies. Sort of sounds like they might be sort of sugarcoating a bit, doesn't it? Yeah, but they undergo a complete transformation and throw away their guns, and everything changes overnight for them, sort of thing. Yeah. Oh, your ring light just went out. Doesn't matter. Get to work in a minute. Banister, yeah. But yeah, they were called the Buddha Bunch, basically. Yeah, that's interesting. He disappeared into the trees, into the mountains. Sorry, yeah, to live as a trapper. Yeah, and yeah, and this is the story's told differently in different places. It's like, so in some places it says they were going wild in the desert, running around screaming, "This is it!" But actually, it was more of a quiet, introspective trip, and they took really high doses as well. They took 2 or 3 doses worth of things. They had a mission. They were on a mission to take really high doses of all these psychedelics, and it was really profound. And basically, yeah, that was what happened to them. Yeah, we're going to get to this. It shows up a lot. They do in that one as well. I'll have to find that. Yeah, there's so much about Terry the Tramp. Yeah, we'll get to Terry the Tramp when we get to that slide. That's more towards the end, though. Yeah, but yeah, Terry the Tramp was a Hell's Angel that distributed LSD for the Brotherhood of Eternal Love. Yeah, their origins were as a bike gang called the Buddha Bunch, who originally used to rob supermarkets. Then they decided to rob a film producer who had LSD in his fridge, and they just took the LSD. And as soon as they took the LSD, they threw away their guns and vowed to become psychedelic warriors, basically, and to spread LSD around the place. Yeah. Are you the only one here who's taken more than 60 tabs of LSD? You're not the only one. But it's done it more than once. Sure, I've definitely not done it 60 times, no. But yeah, so it was harder to get when I was younger. Yeah. It was probably easier to get when you guys were younger because you're older, aren't you? They got all the people that were manufacturing it, as I'm going to explain to you here. Yeah. It was much harder to get. But yeah, how many people did it more than 60 times in the chat? That's an interesting question. Move on to the next slide. From bikers to global psychedelic syndicate. After their Joshua Tree awakening, the Brotherhood began building a drug empire. Rebranded as psychedelic outlaws, they aimed to turn the world on to LSD. They opened the Mystic Arts World Head Shop in 1967, part store, part recruitment centre. And they recruited the chemist Nick Sand and LSD guru Timothy Leary. He helped develop Orange Sunshine, the most famous and widely distributed LSD in history, producing millions of doses for the Brotherhood of Eternal Love. A follower of Timothy Leary's turn on, tune in, drop out ethos, Sand saw himself not as a drug dealer, but as a psychedelic missionary. Trained in chemistry and influenced by Eastern philosophy, he built underground labs that rivaled pharmaceutical operations. Despite multiple arrests, he remained defiant, living underground for decades, continuing to make LSD until his final bust in Canada in 1996. Sand's work wasn't just chemical. He believed in using acid to reshape society from inside out, and began international drug smuggling operations, importing hash from Afghanistan and manufacturing Orange Sunshine LSD in massive quantities. So yeah, this is one of the main guys basically behind Orange Sunshine, and he got away too. He doesn't actually get caught until sometime in the 90s. Yeah, but yeah, this was one of the key dudes that, and the guy they talk about in Operation Julie, who led the Operation Julie chemist, learned from him. I think it's him. Yeah. Who and Ronald Stark was the connection who he met him through. We'll get to him in a bit as well, though. Yes. A small group of hippie zealots worked feverishly in an old Windsor farmhouse to create Orange Sunshine, an especially pure form of LSD. Yeah, their labs. Like I say, this was just to give you an overview. I got asked the details of exactly where all their labs were and everything, sort of thing. This is just to give you an overview of them. But yeah, it seemed to be all based around the shop. A lot of the shop that they started around there. The oh, what was it called? No, sorry, it is on that side. The Mystic Arts World, and that was in in California somewhere, presumably, wasn't it? Yeah. Yes. So yeah, he was also really involved in smuggling the hash from Afghanistan as well, because that's another thing that they did. They didn't just make LSD; they smuggled hash as well, loads of it. And this Ronald Stark, like I said, we'll get to him in a bit. On to the next slide. Yes, the death of John Griggs, the end of the idealist era. And he took a massive dose of psilocybin crystals brought from Switzerland and quickly realised it was an overdose. He shouted warnings to his friends on the ridge, "Don't take the stuff, it's a complete overdose. If you want to get high, take acid. Throw away the psilocybin, don't take it." Griggs refused medical help, saying it's just between me and God. And he also didn't want to get busted, because he'd have to admit he'd taken drugs and they could bust the place, couldn't they? But he was finally rushed to the hospital, but died in the early hours of the 4th of August, 1969, days before the Manson murders. Some researchers believe there may be unspoken links between the Brotherhood of Eternal Love, Charles Manson, and events in early August 69. After Griggs' death, the Brotherhood of Eternal Love shifted under the shadowy leadership of Ron Stark, whose CIA and intelligence links still raise questions today. Right, and Griggs was one of the guys who really believed, was on a mission to wake up the world, or a helpful mission. Basically, had a pure vision of what he wanted to do. And when he died, it went over to the more sinister and money grabbing people and more military intelligence led, possibly, as we get to. And also, other sources say it was mescaline he took. I've seen people on Reddit saying he was possibly even given PCP. So, but yeah, it's either mescaline or psilocybin. He took a massive overdose of a synthetic version of it, basically. And yeah, this is right before the Manson murders, which is one of the bizarre connections, basically. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think they were linked. Well, it's hard to say, really, isn't it? But when we get to it, you'll see how Tex is linked to bikers, basically. So Tex could be linked to some of it somehow. There are no solid links, but it just obviously it shows that the Manson murders happened against a backdrop of strange biker wars happening. If nothing else, doesn't it? Yeah. Orange-coloured tablet that was widely available in the late 1960s. Orange Sunshine, yeah. No, he got busted, didn't he? He was in prison. Michael Hollingshead came first and set up the Psychedelic Institute, but Timothy Leary got busted and put in prison before he could come to the UK. I think is what happened. Yeah. Yeah, 69 was a shit year. The people that actually gave a shit about the quality of the psychedelic drugs all died, or got arrested and put in prison. The Manson murders happened. Altamont happened. It was a terrible, terrible year for the counterculture. So I'm just looking at my banners. Did John Griggs' death mark the end of the idealistic LSD movement? Because arguably it moved to the Operation Judy chemists in the UK after these guys got busted as well. The dates add up. These guys went away, and the operation seems to have then moved to the Operation Judy chemists in the UK, and they continued exporting the LSD until they're finally busted in about 78. It definitely marked the beginning of the end, I think. Yeah. What Sam took acid? Sam Smith took acid. He did acid. It didn't have any big effect on you at all until you walked outside and looked up at the moon and noticed it was waving like a flag. You mean? That's it. Yeah. The sunshine all went dark. What, in 1969? Yeah. It is. And also, people obviously wonder if that was an accidental overdose or if the drugs he was given were deliberately, too strong. A hot shot, as they say. And we're going to get to another guy who dies of a suspected hot shot. Hot shot means when someone's given drugs that are deliberately too strong. They're deliberately given an overdose when they thought they were taking a smaller amount or whatever. Or a different drug, a poison instead of a drug or whatever. Yeah, that's what a hot shot means. But yes, it does sound very strange because this guy would have been used to taking a lot of drugs by the sound of things, so it's quite unusual for him to overdose. So these drugs must have been either way too strong, or maybe it was a different one. Yeah, no one knows what a flage is. Yeah. But he was on LSD, that's the thing, yeah. Yeah, no. But you did mean flag, yeah. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, the moon landing as well, that happened in 69, didn't it? Or did it? Yeah, that's the did it really? Yeah, and Griggs' death, the Manson murders, Woodstock, Altamont as well. Don't forget. Yeah. But that was all within 1 month. Yeah, because Altamont happened a bit later, but Altamont happened just as Susan Atkins was doing her grand jury testimony as well. Terrible, terrible year for the counterculture. Right, let's get back to the presentation. Griggs' death. Ron Stark. This connects it to Operation Julie as well. I talked about him right at the beginning of the Operation Julie thing. Ronald Hadley Stark, chemist, conman, and suspected intelligence asset. Claimed he could produce millions of LSD doses, and he delivered. Became a key figure in Orange Sunshine distribution, supplying both the Brotherhood of Eternal Love and European markets. Later arrested in Italy, where a judge called him an agent of the CIA. His exact role remains murky, but without Stark, the Brotherhood of Eternal Love's reach would have been far smaller. Stark was fluent in multiple languages, carried multiple passports, and had connections all over Europe and the Middle East. He allegedly had ties to intelligence services, which has led many to speculate the Brotherhood of Eternal Love may have been infiltrated or even guided. He turned up in Italy after the Brotherhood of Eternal Love bus, then vanished again under mysterious circumstances. His presence casts a long shadow. Was the acid revolution really grassroots or manipulated? And look at the picture of him. Guilty. Doesn't he look like a knock? He does, doesn't he? My God. Yeah, look at him. And honestly, I could do a whole stream just about this guy as well. Like I say, I just wanted to give you an overview for this stream. But yeah, there's so much been written about this dude as well. And was he really an intelligence agent or just a really good con man that convinced people he was? But being fluent in multiple foreign languages and having multiple passports is a thing. Because I've always been interested in spies and reading stories about spies and watching documentaries about spies. And you'd be amazed how many people get recruited to be spies just because they can speak multiple languages. And they recruit them for that reason. So that is a red flag if someone is fluent in lots of languages as well. But yeah, we could do a lot more talking about him. Ronald Stark, he's called, yeah. Yeah, he offered ended David Cosby looking like Corpus, yeah. And won. Yeah, looks like a PDF, yeah. A PDF file, yeah. Ronnie Stark is a dude? Yeah. I don't know which Ronnie Stark were you thinking of then. Oh, God, I don't want to know. All got confiscated in the USA. I've not read of that yet, and I've read a lot about the LSD shit, yeah. If I find any evidence of that, I'll tell you. But yes, like I say, I could do a lot more about this guy as well. And this is the guy whose hands it seems to fall into after previous dude, John Griggs, dies. It all goes over to him, and everyone becomes more money grabby, obviously. Just rewatched that after years, and I made a few notes, yeah. But I bet he does, yeah. But he remembers Ronald Stark, Timothy Leary, yeah. That's the MK Ultra reunion party he's talking about there, which is on YouTube. The link I shared to it was was on archive.org. It's also on archive.org, but it's on YouTube as well. a meeting of LSD researchers. I want to know exactly what that event was as well, because I'm sure it wasn't really an MK Ultra reunion party. That wasn't what that event was called. If you listen, there seems to be another event starting in another room as well, and it's like they've all gathered to film that thing before they go and speak at another event or something. I'd love to find out what that actually was. But it's all people like Timothy Leary and that the guy they call the Johnny Appleseed of LSD. Loads of the famous LSD researchers are all sat together chatting about stuff they did. Anyway, I'll move on to the next slide. So they went from a hippie commune to a global drug syndicate. The Brotherhood of Eternal Love started as a spiritual community devoted to turning the world on with LSD and hashish. Operating from Laguna Beach, that's where the shop was, yeah, sorry. They used surfers, musicians, and commune members as couriers and lookouts. By the late 60s, they were importing hashish from Afghanistan, shipping LSD across continents, and using hollowed surfboards, false-bottom suitcases, and hippie vans with hidden compartments. They partnered with underground chemists like Nick Sand and Tim Scully to mass-produce orange sunshine, fueling a global acid wave. Their reach extended to the UK, connecting the LSD producers, later targeted in Operation Julie, one of the biggest drug raids in British history, which I covered last week. Yeah, so look at that. I'll make sure it's linked at the end screen of this video. And that. So yes, so what started as a bike gang that used to rob supermarkets, robbed a film producer of his LSD, and no one knows exactly who this film producer is as well. Some people say he worked for MGM, others another film company, but no one knows who this film producer was. But they stole his LSD, took his LSD, had a spiritual awakening, threw away their guns, and turned to LSD manufacturing and importing and smuggling cash. And this is the story. It's like it seems to be like a bit of a whitewash with these counterculture stories. Can't believe it was entirely that altruistic, and they changed that quickly overnight, completely. Oh my god, it's like Glasgow Dave. Sorry, I haven't seen you for ages. Have you been all right? Yes. Yeah. Wow. But yes, and like I say, they used hollowed out surfboards and all that sort of thing to smuggle drugs and all sorts of people. And this Terry the Tramp dude as well. He doesn't. Well, he was one of the people that used to smuggle the LSD for them. But he comes up more when I'm talking about the biker drug war aspect. We'll get to that there. Yeah. Oh no, you're in hospital again. Oh no, sorry, Glasgow Dave, looking in the chat. Wow. Yes. Cheech and Chong in Up in Smoke. Have you ever seen the film Up in Smoke? So they're driving a Volkswagen van that's actually made of weed somehow. They've reformed it into the van itself, haven't they? Yeah. Yeah, but they had hippie buses with hollowed out floors and stuff like this. Yeah, so tons of hashish concealed, like the French Connection heroin. Oh, the French Connection smuggled hash as well, I think, didn't they? Yeah. In fuel tanks. Hash goes in fuel tanks a lot of the time. Yeah, but it's interesting, how they went from being violent bikers to apparently this purely spiritual community. But there's lots of pictures of their compound as well, and it really does look like that. And I can believe that they underwent a profound transformation. But it just seems like slightly sugar-coaty, doesn't it? Who knows? Who knows though? It did have a strong effect on a lot of people. LSD. Cheech, I'm sure about Up in Smoke. I don't remember that. I mean, Cheech was in jail and with a straitjacket, could not scratch his balls. I don't remember. Is that in Up in Smoke? I don't remember them putting in a straitjacket in Up in Smoke. But they have done a lot of. They have done other films as well. Like, yeah, that does sound like something Cheech and Chong would do. Yeah, like Up in Smoke as well. But they're stoned in the car, innit? And he says to him, am I driving okay?" And he says, "No, man, we're parked." And they pulled over, and he doesn't even realise. Yeah. And they're smoking Great Dane because the dog ate the stash and he's pulled it out of the dogs. Oh my god. How did we get to talking about Cheech and Chong? From, yeah, well, I suppose we are talking about a global drug syndicate, aren't we? Yeah. Maybe we're putting it up in space. They have shown it on the TV in the UK. There was a pop night, but it wasn't the full edit. There's a if you can get the DVD version of it, it makes a bit more sense. The musical performance at the end, because they cut a lot out of the version that they showed on TV, so you can't see they're actually travelling to this place to take part in a battle of the bands. That's why they're going to the place, and that's why they play the song at the end. In the cut version, it doesn't really make much sense that they suddenly sing that song at the end. Yeah. Hmm. Ah, sorry. In the book Brotherhood of Eternal Love, in 1966, Los Angeles, Lawrence Schiller is mentioned as working for Life magazine. Yes, that's crazy. Yeah, Lawrence Schiller, who did the Killing of Sharon Tate book, and he was trying to make a film about Manson, and he made that film with Dennis Hopper that I've talked about in other streams. Lawrence Schiller was involved with this as well, and she accidentally said the name of Owsley to this reporter, to Lawrence Schiller, basically, and so Owsley nearly got busted, or did get busted as a result. Yeah, she turned up with the jar of the LSD pills and went, "Look what I just got from Owsley," while the guy, Lawrence Schiller, the reporter from Time magazine, was filming. Yeah, Schiller again. Schiller turns up again. Hmm. Yeah, but that's in the book, Brotherhood of Eternal Love. I shared the link to the PDF in the Facebook group. I don't know if I put it on the subreddit. I should do, yeah. Yeah. Schiller, the Schiller, yeah. And you notice if you look at his website as well, he promotes all his books except The Killing of Sharon Tate. He doesn't talk about that. I think it's because he doesn't make any money from it. No one's allowed to make any money from that book, really, yeah. Right, we'll go to the next thing. The fall of the Brotherhood of Eternal Love. By the mid-1970s, the Brotherhood of Eternal Love had become the FBI's Hippie Mafia, trafficking LSD, hash, and more across the globe. Operation BEL Breaker led to the coordinated raids in the US and abroad in 1972 with over 50 arrests. LSD labs, distribution houses, and smuggling gear were all seized, including surfboards and hollowed books. Key members, including Mike Randall, Nick Sands, and Lyndon Lin Law, went underground. Ron Stark vanished before he could testify, fueling conspiracy theories. The Brotherhood of Eternal Love dream had ended behind bars, but its influence lived on in counterculture history and global drug policy. Yeah, and there's actually a bigger version of that poster, but you can't see it very clearly. That was the clearest version of the poster I could find. But that's their FBI wanted poster before they were arrested. So yeah, they eventually get busted, but a lot of them ran. Like I say, if I ever go into do a more detailed stream, I'll tell you exactly who went to prison and for how long. But yeah, a lot of them appear to have got away as well. Because Sands as well, he managed to get away. He didn't get busted. So a lot of them did just sort of disappear too. So were they all? How many of them were intelligence agents? Was it just Ronald Stark? How many of them were protected and allowed to carry on for whatever reason? Oh, what? It was produced by Lou Adler. Yeah, I remember seeing the name actually. Yeah, the Mamas and Papas record producer produced Up in Smoke. Yeah, lots of Monty Python films were funded by rock groups, like the Quest for the Holy Grail was funded by Led Zeppelin and Jethro Tull and a couple of others, I think, yeah. Can't remember, yeah, exactly who, but a few rock stars have funded films as well, haven't they? And Jimmy Page funded Lucifer Rising and was supposed to do the music for it, but it took too long, so Bobby Baselow recorded it while in prison. Crazy stories, yeah. Yeah, a motley crew of faces, yeah. Mainly mugshots. Dude down in the corner looks like what are they called? Sparks. They did a song called "This Town Ain't Big Enough for the Both of Us." I think they're actually brothers as well. I found out, but one of them plays the keyboard, and he has got like a Hitler moustache, and he stares really harshly at the camera. I don't know if they were big in America, but British people will know who I'm talking about. We're talking about Sparks. One of the dudes, the dude in the bottom corner there, looks just like the keyboardist from Sparks and Hitler. Yeah, Sparks. You know who Sparks are, yeah, yeah. Doesn't he look a bit like the dude from Sparks, the guy in the bottom corner, yeah. Yeah, is that his name? Ron Mail. Yeah. Maybe I'll play this down it big enough for the both of us on the after show, just so you know who I mean, so you'll get it. Yeah, no. Ron Mail, yeah. You do know who he is, yeah. Yeah. All of their songs are about sex, yeah. A lot of songs actually are, aren't they? It's quite creepy, yeah, when you look into it. What these songs are actually being written about. A lot of pop songs that sound really inoffensive if you really analyse the lyrics. And that's what we do. Yeah. Why does he look like Charlie Chaplin? It's the moustache, isn't it? I mean, when you look at him, I don't think he really does look like Charlie Chaplin. It's closer to like Hitler, isn't it, really? Yeah. Oh, they were in a film as well. I didn't see them in the film, I don't think. I'll have to look that one up. Oh, brilliant. Anyway, I'll carry on with this so we can. Oh, sorry. I'll minimise my the screen there for a minute. He gave me a heart attack. Oh. Biker drug war at the heart of the Manson murders. Yeah, now we're getting onto the stranger theories about the Manson case. Yeah. A biker drug war at the heart of the Manson murders. In a 1981 interview, Charles Manson claimed he and Charles Tex Watson were involved in a game between rival biker gangs. John Donaldson's research points to a bloody LSD turf war between the Oakland and LA Hells Angels in the late 60s. John Griggs died of a suspected mescaline overdose, or was it psilocybin, was it PCP, who knows, August the 3rd, 1969, just days before the TLB murders. But he took it on the 3rd, actually died early hours of the 4th. One key figure, Terry the Tramp, an Oakland Hells Angel, LSD distributor for the Brotherhood of Eternal Love, and sometime actor, was murdered in February 1970, so just after the Manson murders, yeah, allegedly with a hot shot by another angel, Paul Animal Hibbets. And he was at Altamont as well. That's a picture of him at Altamont. Hibbets worked as a stuntman, living in LA at a house owned by Dick Zicker. Is that how you pronounce it? Or Zyker? Who was dating actress Samantha Eggar. Eggar and her husband, actor Tom Stern, had previously lived at 10050 Cielo Drive, the future scene of the Tate murders. Stern starred in biker films with Terry the Tramp, making Cielo a key location in this violent underworld scene. So like I said, there's no solid connection there, but it's very, very close and sounds very similar, doesn't it, to what was going on. And if nothing else, it at least shows that there was a broader drug war going on. People seem to be trying to take power and killing people. And like I say, I could do a whole stream just about Terry the Tramp. There's George Christie's done a couple of videos about him because he knows stuff about it, and people are saying Sonny Barger ordered it, and oh god, yeah, like I say, this is just to give you a bit of an overview of it. But yeah, Terry the Tramp was involved with the Brotherhood of Eternal Love. And one thing I wanted to say about him as well was it was really hard to find a picture of him looking tough and mean, because you want a picture of him looking mean for the presentation. He was always smiling and laughing. I'm guessing he was always on LSD basically, because he's always wearing sunglasses as well, which suggests he's photosensitive, because his pupils would be big if he was on LSD. But yeah, it was really hard to find a picture of him looking mean and tough because he was just always grinning. Yeah, I think he was on acid himself a lot. Yeah, yeah. Hmm. Yeah, another video on the Hells Angels. Yeah, well, I could definitely talk more about individual ones, like the murder of Terry the Tramp, and that would involve Paul Animal Hibbets, because he was involved with Altamont as well. He's possibly the one that punched the guy from Jefferson Airplane, I think. Yeah, I'll have to confirm that's correct. But one of the Hells Angels definitely punched the singer from Jefferson Airplane at Altamont, didn't he? And it might have been Paul Animal Hibbets. He was definitely at Altamont. The dude with the fox hat. He was San Francisco, was he? Yeah. He's supposed to have been heavily involved with the Brotherhood of Eternal Love and moving LSD. Yeah. Yeah, George Christie, he was at some point leader of the Hells Angels, co-leader with Sonny Barger or something, wasn't he? He's got YouTube channels and everything, and he talks quite a lot. He knows, obviously has a lot of stories to tell. Yeah, Chris Luke was not happy about him getting punched. Yeah. 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 Marty Ballin was hit, and it was possibly Paul Animal Hibbets. Not sure. I'll have to confirm if that's correct or not. But yeah, and it's interesting that all these guys were linked to CIA Drive as well. You know, like just shows. And also, yes, when he lived there as well, he was some kind of caretaker too. I read, yeah, I didn't add that to the presentation, but he was possibly like a houseboy, basically. Yeah. So what is this another houseboy mafia thing? The guy who lived. Excuse me, just have to have a sip of tea. Yeah, like, it was definitely animal, was it? Yeah, yeah, I've heard that. I've read that somewhere else as I was researching this. Yeah, yeah. You got 2 chapters near you, have you? Well, so they don't piss each other off then. You don't want to get caught in the foot like that. I think they're trying to be a bit nicer now, aren't they? Nowadays, they're trying to soften their image. Not worth all the rules. Yeah, so this is like what John Donaldson uncovered, and he had said more than this as well. So the Grateful Dead decided not to play when Animal knocked Rex Jackson out after knocking Marty Ballin out the second time backstage. What? So he hit him again backstage and knocked him out. Yeah, yeah. I know the Grateful Dead just left, didn't they? Yeah, yeah. That's it. It's inevitable if you're named Animal that you'll end up in a bike gang. Yeah, or the drummer on the Muppets. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, well, he's up. There's a picture of him up on the slide there. That looks like more like a fox that he's wearing there. Don't know though. I suppose it's black and white, isn't it? So it's hard to tell the colour of the animal. But haven't raccoons got like markings around their eyes? Don't know. Oh god, a whole bunch of bikers murdered. Yeah. Oh, I was watching. Cause it was really weird. I'd just been watching George Christie videos about while I was researching this, and my friend's got Sky and a documentary about how Hell's Angel murder came on. And George Christie was interviewed in that. So I was like, oh, bloody hell. I was just watching his YouTube channel. Yeah. Yeah. I've put them other names there, son animal. I don't think it's their real names, is it? It's like, yeah, their criminal gang name. Makes it harder for the police to work out who they are. Yeah. Yeah, but like I could do a whole stream about Terry the Tramp and his death and who the hell he was. And like I say, I found him funny because, like I say, I was going through all these pictures. I searched for pictures of him, and you cannot find one picture of him looking mean. He is supposed to have been a violent biker and that, but yeah, he just looks so friendly. It was really hard to find a picture of him looking mean. That's like the craziest picture of him I could find, yeah. He just looks so happy. Yeah. Isn't it strange? Or is it? Yeah, are they linked? But yeah, at least as well, it's worth discussion. It merits discussion because it shows that there was a huge biker drug wars going on around this time, doesn't it? That the Manson murders happened. And I'll move on now to this. I've got a video of Manson saying this. It's just the clip of it. This is what he actually said. Excuse the silly video. But it was just to... I just knew this would be important one day when I heard this. Yeah, listen to this.
Tex didn't have his own mind one way or the other. He was balanced back and forwards because I had already took his mind in another game down the road that I was playing with some Hell's Angels that you don't know nothing about. And you probably never will know nothing about it because you would have to know those people to get in that thought, see. But there's different colors on different people's backs doing different things. It's a different world. I love the world I live in, too, just like Reagan loves the world he lives in.
Yeah, and I left on the little bit about Reagan at the end there because is that connected? Who knows? Because Ronald Reagan, there are rumors about Ronald Reagan, someone involved with him, his fiance or something, allegedly being on these sex tapes that were found. And that was said in, a coast-to-coast interview with Tom Snyder. So what he said was, Tex didn't have his own mind one way or another. He was bounced back and forth because I had already taken his mind down the road in a game I was playing with some Hell's Angels you don't know nothing about. You probably never will know nothing about it, because you would have to know those people to get in those thoughts. If there's different colours on different people's backs doing different things, it's a different world. Manson implies Tex Watson's mind had already been compromised in a game involving Hell's Angels before the murders. Suggests some unseen layer of biker gang dynamics and manipulation behind the scenes. The phrase different colours on different people's backs alludes to different biker gang affiliations. Possible attempts by Manson to deflect blame and hint at deeper conspiracies adds weight to theories that Tex Watson may have played a larger independent role and had links outside the family, e.g. LSD, bikers, Morehouse, Rosina Kroner. So yes, I just knew that would have to be relevant at some point, yeah. But this was just such a strange thing for him to say. And there's more. Yeah, he certainly didn't have his mind after he gobbled down that datura. Beep, beep, yeah. Oh, what is Beckham? Did I miss Beckham? Hello, Beckham. But yes, like I say, I won't keep playing that video clip. But yeah, that's the text of what he said. And I've done a post in the Facebook groups and on the subreddit about this, if you want to read that in more detail. But yeah, it's just another cryptic thing Manson said. And I did ask Nicholas about it. We'll get to that when I get to the next slide. I asked him, did Manson ever say anything to you? And yeah, we'll get to that. I'm sorry, the cat's nudging the table now. So the things are shaking. The camera's shaking a bit. The bloody ring light's gone off as well. There, that's better. Ah, looked like a nuclear bomb went off or something there, didn't it? Like the camera went. Sorry. Right. But yes, the colours on the back, different colours on different people's backs implies different biker gangs involved as well, not just one biker gang, doesn't it? Because the colours, the patch that they wear on their back is called the colours. In case you don't know, just in case anyone needs to know that, most people do. Who are here probably understand that anyway, yeah. But just in case you're wondering what you could have meant by that, and I've heard people say it could mean something about military regiments or something, but no, it's probably talking about different gang affiliations in this context, yeah. Yeah. I think everyone, does anyone else think Tex was the real wrong'un? Yeah, I think everyone thinks he was, don't they? Yeah. They were just sort of panhandling and pimping and all that until Tex showed up, weren't they? And Linda seemed to have a bad effect on them as well. Tex and Linda, they become more brutal and violent when Tex shows up, don't they? Yeah, Charles Manson was bad, but Tex. Yeah, and Linda Kasabian was the runner. And yeah, apparently Manson didn't even really like Tex and Dean Morehouse. They had to sleep in a tent, while they were there. So it's been overplayed how close and, how close a henchman he was to. That's when I'll move on to the next slide anyway. We go into this a bit more. What was really going on with Tex Watson? Often seen as Manson's foot soldier, Charles Tex Watson may have had his own agenda. Spent long periods away from the family, living with his friend David and his girlfriend, drug dealer Rosina Kroner. And when David went to Vietnam, Rosina Kroner became Tex's girlfriend. He was first given LSD not by Manson, but by LSD pastor Dean Morehouse, an early mindbender connection there. Manson later claims Tex lost part of his mind in a war with Hell's Angels, a cryptic but chilling comment. In psychiatric reports, Tex says Manson took part of my mind, but he never mentions bikers. And he was also observed smiling every time Orange Sunshine LSD was mentioned during evaluation. It says this in his psychiatry report. In a private interview, Manson told Nicholas Schreck he didn't know what Tex and Rosina were really doing while Tex was away, but that Tex was dealing with bikers. Some believe Tex was part of a biker plot to knock out rival dealers in the LA area. Were the murders connected to this turf war? So yeah, that's the question, basically. And it doesn't get talked about enough. That's actually because the official narrative pushes the idea that Tex and Manson were really close, but actually Manson didn't even really like Tex. Tex caused problems when he committed the Bernard Crow robbery. And obviously that's something that Tex did. We know he robbed Bernard Crow, we know he liked robbing people. So yeah, it does just add more weight to theories that this was to do with drug robberies, wasn't it? And not entirely caused by Manson as well, that Manson was the fool guy, and that Watson and Kasabian and others deserve more of the blame for this actually happening than they ever got. Yeah. 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 Yeah, the bikers could have dosed text with the datura. Yeah, well, apparently I have heard of gangsters doing this. It is a gangster thing as well. Like Mexicans, apparently, and if you go to Mexico, not just gangsters as well, just to rob tourists, they will spike you with datura, and when you're fucked up, they'll steal all your clothes and your shoes and everything off you. You know what I mean? Just anything of any value on you. So, like, it is a thing actually. That's another thing. Yeah, it's interesting, and like bikers hanging around. Well, apparently, it's supposed to be Paul Watkins that was telling them to eat what he was telling them was belladonna root, but it wasn't belladonna. It was datura. It was Jimson weed. It was much stronger than belladonna. Yeah, but it's so like it's interesting. Yeah, it is interesting. But that it is used by criminals as well to incapacitate people so you can rob them or whatever. And like I say, all this, there's no solid connection, but it just does add more weight to claims that there was some kind of, drug war going on and it was somehow related to drug wars that were happening. And the final thing, I'll show you. This was a thing I spoke about during one of the LaBianca streams years ago. I thought I'd revisit it. The blog was called The X Spot. And in a lesser known theory, the blogger Xdel, sorry. And I don't think it's his theory. If you I'll show you the blog article. I'm not going to read you the whole thing, but I'll make sure it's linked in the description if you want to read it. I don't think it's actually his hypothesis. He's just evaluating it in this blog post. But as far as I know, he's the only source I can come up with. So yeah, this guy Xdel from this blog, the Xbot, proposes that Charles Tex Watson was part of a plot to overthrow drug dealers in LA, and that this could be the real motive behind the Cielo and LaBianca murders. The key points of it are Tex Watson may have been involved in a power play to dominate the Hollywood drug scene. He allegedly worked with Susan Struthers, Rosemary LaBianca's daughter, and her biker boyfriend Joseph Dorgan. The theory suggests the victims were targeted as part of a drug deal-related takeover, not for symbolic or racial reasons. Dorgan was a biker associated with the Straight Satans with underworld ties and possibly connected to the wider LSD and meth trafficking circuits. This fits into broader speculation that Watson was operating outside Manson's control with ties to other criminal factions. The big question, was Tex using the family as cover for a violent play to take over LA's drug market? So yeah, we should call it a new theory. Yeah, the biker gang war theory. Because there's drug burn, which is just the theory that Tex and Linda had been somehow ripped off by the people at Cielo Drive. That's why they targeted Cielo. And Save a Brother, which is that they committed the other murders in order to try and free Bobby, basically. And now we've got biker gang war, basically, yeah. The new theory. You find it interesting that TJ Wollerman was the one who picked up Tex from the drug burn, and then later that night, TJ went with Manson to meet Crow. Yes, it is very strange. And TJ just is always like weird as hell to me as well. All the footage and all the pictures of him I've ever seen, I get such weird vibes off him. And he was never nicked for anything or apparently involved with anything, was he? Yeah. Well, I think everyone wants to hear the Tex tapes, don't they? Yeah, I would love to know, because is it to do with all this sort of stuff that they can't tell us? Because apparently the reason that they won't let the public hear it is because there's cases that are still open that he gets asked about on them. That's the reason they're giving. So, and the Tate LaBianca case is closed because they're all done, aren't they? So it's to do with other things. And I know they seem to get investigated for a lot of the Zodiac murders. If you look at the newspaper articles around the time, that are telling you about police coming in from other states to question them. And it looks like a lot of the Zodiac crimes. But could it be to do with this, to do with the drug wars? And that's why they won't let us hear it, yeah. Yeah, that's it. There are so many coincidences. That's why I bring this up. It's like, and it just adds weight to everything saying that this is to do with drugs, basically, isn't it? Yeah, and let me get it up on the screen for you. Wait a sec. The Devil's in the Slide, Another Hypothesis. That's the title of the post. Wait a second. And there we go. Right, yeah. Like I said, I'm not going to read it out, but yeah, I will make sure it's linked. But that goes like far more into the theory about the it's the hypothesis for what I just read out basically. And something just happened to the chat. Sorry, the chat just disappeared. The stream didn't just cut out, did it? Something weird just happened to my chat. Everything vanished. It might have just been me. Don't worry while I was clicking around. But yes, that's the website that hypothesis came off, and I'll make sure the link to that is in the description if you want to see it. And it's already on the subreddit, and I've shared it in the Facebook group if you want to read that in more detail. But that's where this Joe Dorgan and Tex working together to overthrow drug dealers. And now we've got these weird deaths of two bikers heavily associated with LSD dealing, who die quite close to the Tate LaBianca murders. So is it related to this sort of weird drug war that appears to be happening? Yeah. Yeah, someone said he would never talk about crimes where people were still walking the street, yeah. And he's very cagey about how much he will say as well. He doesn't say much, does he? He won't say anything. He's being really elusive. In fact, he seems to be teasing us, doesn't he, sort of by saying, but I won't say any more than that. But he says Hell's Angels, doesn't he? So, yeah. Yeah, can you hear a noise? That's probably the fan on my computer that you can hear. Yeah, a weird buzzing noise. Yeah, sorry about that. There's not a lot I can do about that either. Yeah. Yeah, it's really kicking in for some reason, the fan on my computer. Yeah, that's lasted quite a long time anyway. Good stream. And next week I will be talking about Kramwinkle, obviously. Well done for staying on subject in the chat and not talking about Kramwinkle constantly, yeah, because I know that's big news, isn't it? She's been, partly approved for parole. But there's an article that I've shared on the subreddit and in the Facebook group and everything that explains it's not even gone before the whole board yet. There's still another stage of the board has to approve it, and then it will go for the governor, and he can wait hundreds of days before he earns that. Yeah, so it's nowhere near her actually getting it yet. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I had a long time to work on this one this week. So it's just a general overview. I could have gone into a lot more detail and read whole extracts from books, but and all that sort of thing. And maybe one day I will do a more detailed stream. And I definitely want to cover Terry the Tramp because I just find him intriguing, and I think it's kind of sad that he's dead because he sounded like quite a nice dude. You know, I couldn't find anything that said he was really nasty, and I just found it really funny that there were no photos of him looking tough and mean. He's smiling and looking like he's tripping in every picture, basically. Yeah. 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 Oh, thank you. Do enjoy it, yeah. And thank you. If you're still watching on playback, thank you for watching all the way to the end. I know some people do. I can see from the statistics, the analytics, some people do watch all the way to the end. But yeah, and I will do other streams developing this biker drug war theory as well. I want to tack it onto this because the Brotherhood of Eternal Love were connected to bike gangs. And also just a timeline of what Tex was doing the whole time and showing how little time he actually spent with the Manson family and how off everything is, you know. And it's so weird. He was tried separately. Though he was the main perpetrator of the TLB crimes, he was tried separately to everyone else. It just doesn't make sense. None of it does it? Yeah. I was enlightening. Thank you. Did you like it? Yeah, like I said, I highly recommend the book, The Brotherhood of Eternal Love. Swerdlan May, I think it is. It's really hard to get actual copies of it. I did manage to find a PDF, but it's the earlier version, the 1980s version. Apparently, the updated version did have some more information in it, but I couldn't find that version anywhere, and copies of it go for hundreds of dollars because it's so rare. But yeah, that's a really interesting book, and like I say, loads of information about STP. I'll share that with you. And I could do an update to the Jacob's Ladder drug stream, because there's another theory about what the drug could have been. The Jacob's Ladder drug. Yeah. Yeah, we're all drugged. Yeah, and thank you to everyone that's donated through my Buy Me a Coffee link as well. And I've got 2 members now as well. You can sign up to make a monthly donation, and 2 people have signed up to do that. Thank you, yeah. $3 a month. And you don't get anything extra for that. You're just helping to support the channel. Because a lot of my videos, they restrict how much ad revenue I can make off them because of what they're about, because it's about drugs and murders and that. And that's, fair enough. But that is the price you pay for talking about these subjects. And I don't want to... How can I talk about drug burn theory without saying the word drugs and stuff like that? It just gets ridiculous, doesn't it? So I just have to accept. But yeah, any donations you make help. So I lose ad revenue for talking about these subjects, basically, yeah. Yeah. We'll go to the off show, yeah. Oh, it's really good. Yeah, well, this is pretty much finished now, isn't it? Yeah. I'll finish this, and I will do an after show in a minute. Give me 5 minutes. I'm going to do myself another cup of tea, stretch my legs. Yeah, well, thank you for coming, everyone, and stick around and wait for the notification for the after show. And like the stream and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And yeah, at the beginning of the after show, if you didn't see it before, that's the new version of the Manson Shadows videos. Yeah, you're the first people to see it. I haven't uploaded it to the channel yet. After this, I will upload it to the channel. The new version of the intro song. Well, the video to it, the song is the same, and the video hasn't changed that much. I've just inserted some clips. Yeah, you guys are the first to see it. Anyway, right, yeah, I'll end this now and do an after show in about 5 minutes if you want to come to that. So yeah, thanks for coming, everyone, and I'll see you in 5 minutes or next week.